Okay, so question of the day. Are trans women women? Very simple question. Now, if you was to ask me, firstly, what's a woman? A woman is an adult human female. That's number one. Very simple, right? And number two, are trans women women? Of course not, because they can't reproduce. Very simple, basic stuff. You know, I learned this in primary school. But let's see what happens in a today's society when everyone is woke.
So the question of the day is, are trans women women?
I don't know. Do you think trans women are women? I need to know based off of your sweater. Oh no!
Why you?
The debate starts. I'm not. I want to know how you feel about your question first.
I'll tell you after you tell me.
Already ready to dodge the question. He starts ready to dodge it. You know, just can't keep it real and just say what it is.
I don't think that you're really serious about it. I don't want to be a part of that. My opinion.
So she couldn't answer it and she ran to the other side. Look at her on the right hand side. She's that scared to answer a real simple question.
Are trans women women?
Trans women women.
I think trans women are women in their own eyes. In society, no.
Yeah.
Not as how society sees them, no.
So, I don't know how to answer this. So, me personally, I grew up kind of more old school, right? So if you're a man, you're a man. If you're a woman, you're a woman. But, if they have vagina, sure. If you have vagina and you're like completely trans, sure, yeah. But
so men can have vaginas?
Can men have vagina? No. That's why I said if a man is a man, a woman is a woman. But if they
like a surgery.
Yeah, but
surgery, I know they give a man a vagina.
So there is a surgery. There is a surgery.
A vagina where you can produce children.
Produce children. I'm not sure. No. You can kind of identify as what you want, I guess, but I kind of go by biological. So if you have a penis, you're a man. You have a vagina, you're a woman. You can dress whatever you want. You could be lesbian, you could be gay, that's fine. But if you don't have a vagina, you are not a woman.
I think you can.
Perfect. She got there in the end. You know, I know she was, you know, dancing around, but she got there. If you haven't got a vagina, you're just not a woman. It's very simple stuff, honestly. So yeah.
Identify as whatever you please. If you think you're a dog, go ahead. Like, I know there are people who do that too. Like, to each their own. No, but to each their own. Everyone has their own mental processes, right, throughout their life. And if that's what they're choosing right now, that's fine. And to each their own. At the end of the day, like, why does it bother anybody else?
So if you had a daughter, you go into a women's bathroom, or women's locker room, for example, and you see a male walking around with a penis who identifies as a woman, how would that make you feel?
I think if they're emotionally still interested in the other sex, though, why would it bother me?
You go in bathrooms, you don't know what people going on in people's minds.
Unless they do something to me that I can sense.
So you don't mind seeing a penis in the women's locker room?
Do they identify as a woman?
But regardless,
as a heterosexual woman, do they?
But how would you know?
Because if they do,
how would you know? How would you know?
Because I would assume that if you have a penis and you're walking into the women's restroom, it's for some fucking reason.
But how would you know though? If you're just a regular Samaritan walking into a locker room.
To me, I really don't care because honestly, the lines in the female restrooms are really long.
So.
I swear, woke culture has got everyone tripping, honestly. Look at what she's saying. Look, let's be honest. If females were to go into a female's restroom or changing room and you were to see a man's, piece just swinging, you'll feel uncomfortable. Think of a 6'4" man, 250 pounds. He's right there. Are you going to tell me, so far, he's not bothering anyone? It doesn't really matter. Like, just be honest, be real. You'd absolutely take offense of him even being there and violating female spaces. But it's like I say many times, women don't care about this issue until it affects them directly or their kids directly. So they don't care. Then when they're involved, and let's say she was in a restroom with him, then, she'd have something to say, trust me.
Question of the day is, are trans women women?
Oh, shit, that's a serious, deep question.
It's not really serious just because you're scared.
Exactly.
You got something to say about it.
Well, That's a good point.
Yeah, but trans women are women.
Sure.
You think so? Why do you think that they are?
If you want to be women, be women.
So does that mean that I can be anything that I want to be?
Yeah.
If I identified as a cat, would that make me a cat?
That's a good point. Probably not.
Your original stance really is that you think that women or men can be women?
No, I just don't care.
You know? Well, you should care though, bro. You should care though, bro. Did you know that California just
Translation, he cares, he's just scared to lose his job.
passed a bill that allows biological men to be housed in women's prisons to the extent that they give men condoms before they even get housed.
Oh, wow. Did not know that.
Well, I'm saying, like, even if you didn't know that, that's like kind of the implications we go when you allow people to do whatever the hell they want, right?
Yeah. I can do anything I want.
Anything they
That
want.
means I need some catnip and I can,
Yeah. So, with all that being said, what does that mean? You think that trans women are women still?
Changed my mind.
The question of the day is, are trans women women?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Why are they women?
Because they want to be.
So, does that mean that anyone can be whatever they want to be?
Yes.
So, if I wanted to be a cat, could I be a cat?
I mean, not species wise, but like, sure, do what you want to do. It's not my business.
But does it being your business have to do with the reality of it?
I mean, kind of. Like, I think that people can do whatever they want to be. People can be whatever they want to be.
But does that make it true though?
I think in the terms of being trans, yes, it does.
If trans women are women, then what is a woman?
I think a woman is someone who feels like a woman.
What does a woman feel like?
Well, I don't think you would know.
But could you provide a description on what it is? Because if any,
She's just literally contradicting herself because she's saying that, you know, a woman is, you know, you need to have an emotion, you know, it's about an emotional feeling. But what if this man was to identify as a woman? She's basically telling him, you would never know. So clearly you know that he's a man and he's not a woman, you know?
the trans woman can be a woman, I feel like there should be like a specific definition
Well, I know
or
that
description.
I feel like a woman.
Because you are a woman.
Yes, exactly. You wouldn't know what it feels like to be a woman.
But how would a trans woman know what it feels like to be a woman?
Because they wouldn't feel like you, they would feel like me. You wouldn't be able to understand the difference. You can't understand the difference unless you.
But how would a biological man that identifies as a woman know that they are a woman?
Because they would feel like a woman.
But what does feel like women feel like?
They would feel like they're in the wrong body. They wouldn't feel like they are. They wouldn't feel correct in who they are.
But if they feel like they're in the wrong body, does that mean that they are a woman?
If they feel like they would be better suited to a female body, then yes.
If they feel like they're better suited in a female's body, does that mean that they are a woman?
If they choose to become, like, if they choose to present as a woman, or like they choose to act as a woman, dress as a woman, like whatever they want to do.
I ask it once again, if that's the case, that people can literally be whatever it is that they feel like. And this is happening in the world right now. If people identify as a dog or a cat.
Oh yeah, I know it's happening. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think it's a fair comparison because men and women are like, it happens in the womb, like you become either a man or a woman, but you're the same species. You come from the same place. Like you and a cat, completely different species, not the same thing.
Okay, so if a man is born a man and they're not biologically a woman, what is it that they are experiencing that makes them know that they are a woman if they're not a woman?
I wouldn't know. I'm not trans.
I can't describe what being a woman feels like. What does a woman feel like to you?
It feels like I feel like being a woman, I feel like it's correct. I feel like I was meant to be a woman.
So to simply not feeling like you're in the right body mean that you're not a man or a woman?
If you choose to let it, like obviously some people don't make a choice to do anything about it. Some people continue to live out their lives feeling like they're not in the right body.
My question is, this is my question. I feel like you're saying that simply because someone feels like they're not in the right body, that directly means that they are a woman. So why couldn't it be anything else? Like, why is it that since I don't feel like I'm in the right body, that means that I'm a woman?
No, not that just because you don't feel like you're in the right body. It's you feel like you are meant to be in a female body.
But how do they know what a female body is?
I feel like most people know what a female body is.
How does a man know what it is to be in a female body?
They don't.
How does a biological man know what it feels like to be in a woman's body?
It's not all physical. If you look it up, there are studies done on the fact that people who are trans, like someone could be born into a man's body but have a female brain.
There's studies that go against that as well. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
But I guess I'm trying to get you to explain to me how a man can feel like they're a woman. Like, tell me what a woman feels like. What is it to be a woman? How does a woman feel? What is it that they are experiencing that allows them to know what it is to be a woman? Because it's such a spectrum of women.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't be able to really tell you anything different because this is all I've ever known. I don't know the difference between a woman's brain and a man's brain because I don't know what it feels like to have a man's brain. If I did, I could tell you the difference.
Why are you so certain on a man being a woman if you don't know what it is that men are going through to identify as a woman?
Because if they feel like they better identify as a woman, then I don't think anyone should stop them from.
So if I say I better identify as being a white man, does that mean that I'm a white man now because I identify better as a white man?
I think that's not a fair comparison.
Why not? I'm a man, and I could be raised in a stereotypical white environment and not associate myself with stereotypical black things to do. I could literally believe that I'm a white man.
You could.
Yeah, so does that make me a white man?
No.
Why not?
Because you're not white.
Do you think that trans women are women?
I think you are what you say you are.
Oh, again.
Really?
Yeah.
How you get over it?
Because now my life, why do I care? I think when it comes to like competitive sports and things like that, it gets a little more.
You see that? When it gets to competitive, so she said, it's not my life, why do I care? And now it's when it gets to competitive sports, now all of a sudden, because again, real women are being impacted by this and they're losing to biological men. So now she cares because women are being impacted by it directly.
And they claim to have like the same struggles as women and so but I don't give a fuck what you do in your personal life.
But should how you care about it be relevant as far as reality though? Like,
Elaborate on that.
so, for example, California just passed the bill.
What was that?
And the bill allows biological men to be housed in women's prisons, regardless
That I
of.
don't agree with.
But that's along the lines of what we're talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you allow anybody to do what the hell they want to do, that's what
I
comes
think
from
when
it.
it comes down to
So,
like
where do you
the
draw the
science
line?
and physical abilities, like you would like to like. I would like to think that everybody has a pure heart and they're just doing that because they want to do that and that's how they feel in their soul. Then do it, but unfortunately, not a lot of people are like that. So when it comes to integrating that into women's prison systems, I think that's fucked up.
So, where do you draw the line with your mentality, though? Like, if anybody can do what
Exactly
they want.
where I said it. I think when it comes to like competitive sports, I think that.
Well, how do you know when people are genuine or not, though? So,
Yeah,
so what happens if a
and
man just wants to be a man and go take up women's sports?
You don't, and that's why I'm saying that's where I disagree, and I don't think that it should be allowed in women's prisons.
But what about women's bathrooms?
I think if somebody's minding their business and you can't even really tell, like, I don't give a fuck. But when it comes to predatory behavior, obviously step in.
But do you understand the dilemma we're in if that happens? So if you allow anybody to just go in the women's bathroom, they feel like they're a woman.
Yeah.
There are predators out here, right?
Yeah.
So that allows a wide open, gaping hole for men to take advantage of that to do what they want to do.
And there's parts where it's like a gray area for me, like that. You know, I think.
But why is it gray though?
For exactly the reason I said, there are people who are like genuine and like they just feel better in women's garb, and do you do that? Like, it's not me, I don't give a fuck. But when it comes to a predator is gonna predator, whether they're in women's garb or not, whether they're a man or a female, a woman can walk up in the women's restroom.
But women have safe spaces where women expect to be safe.
Yeah.
So if you allow men in there,
Yeah.
because they feel like they're women, then that gives chance for very terrible things to happen, which has happened.
I agree.
course.
I agree.
Okay, I got another question for you.
Okay.
With that,
Yes.
if trans women are women, what is a woman?
The $1 million question, what is a woman? Go on, let's go. Watch her dance around this question. Any money. You know, liberals have just gone crazy these days, honestly.
Okay. A woman is a woman. What do you mean by that? Elaborate on that question.
I need you to elaborate on, because if trans women are women, if they can be women,
I
then
don't
what is a
think,
woman?
see, personally, I think people should be able to do what they want to do, but I don't agree that, like, trans women are women. I think they're trans women. You'd be allowed to be trans women, but you're not a woman, you're a trans woman. And I'm firm in that belief system, you know, because you don't, once a month, there's fucking little ninjas inside of me going ham, and you will never experience that. So I agree with what you're saying. I think in the everyday life to life, people should express themselves how they want to. I'm not going to see a trans woman and say, hey, you're gross, you know, because that's not my place. I'm not God.
Yeah.
And their relationship with him is their business.
So the question I've been asking,
But you don't need to be God. You just need to be sensible, have a logical, you know, thought process to understand that men cannot be in women's spaces. You know, even the guy said it. He was like, you know, there should be safe spaces for women and women only. Men should not be invading those spaces. So, you know, it's very simple. You know, you should have a genuine care for all women, and say, yeah, men shouldn't be in our spaces, regardless of what you think you are. Do not be in female spaces. You know, very simple stuff.
asking everyone.
Everyone. Okay.
Are trans women women?
Okay. Have they taken the junk and moved it to?
I thought he was going to keep it real, but he wants to play the politically correct game. I thought he was going to keep it real, honestly.
From location? Or are they just like, you know?
Even if they, if they're post-op, if they had the procedure to cut it off, are they women?
It's a tough question to answer in a sense, because they want to think they are, and who am I to say that they can't be what they want to be? You know?
But does that make them a woman, though, even if they think that they are?
But what classifies a woman as a woman?
Exactly.
So,
that's a good question.
Do you have to have those chromosomes to have a child? What about a woman who's born without the ability to give birth?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, you do need to have those chromosomes to have a child, you know.
I don't know.
So what is a woman?
For me, it's not that.
Yeah.
But
For a commonsensical person, what is a woman?
born female, grows up, develops into a woman, you know, could potentially have a child, unless obviously there's
Other complications?
complications that would prevent that. And
Why was there hesitance to give the?
because in today's society is so, you know, it's 20 years ago people would say fuck no, you know, but today you can't, because you know you can't offend everybody, and if you do, you know, you say this, you say that, it's offensive to somebody. Everybody's going to get offended. Somebody got offended by what I just said. So that's just the way it is, though. That's society today. People are soft. You know? That's the problem. For me, I live by the credo of, if you're not hurting people and you're not hurting any, you know, you live in, I don't care what you want to do. That's what you want to call yourself. Fine.
Do you agree that there's a push to make society believe that trans women are women?
A push?
Yes, there is.
No? If that's the case, why do you feel that you would have been, I don't know, ostracized or focused on because of your stance on if trans women are women or not?
Because of the way the change of society has become over the last decade or so. How, you know, just things are different from, you know, I'm older than you too.
Mm-hmm.
And come back then, you know, Archie Bunker, if you remember All in the Family, which is probably, you know, he was racist and, you know, bigot, all those different things that,
And it was okay.
it was normal part of society back then. Now, it can't be. Everybody has to be accepted, regardless of how they want to be viewed as themselves. So, whatever.
No, incorrect. Yes, look, accepting everyone, okay, that's one thing, but then there's living in delusion. There's, oh yeah, this man that identifies as a woman can be, you know, in a bathroom when, you know, my daughter's in a bathroom, when my niece is in a bathroom. That's just living in delusion. You know, there's acceptance and delusional living. I believe we're in delusional living, whereby people have just ignored reality and biological facts, and they just, creating their own, fairy tale in their minds.
If it makes them happy, fine, but that's not interesting to me.
If it makes them happy, there's someone living in their reality. You understand the implications that has on real reality? If we have this stance on if trans women are women, are there consequences that can come from that?
Potentially. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and if I'm in a public restroom and, not that trans women are going to do anything, but it just would make me a little more on edge to be careful, I keep an eye on my daughter, and here she comes. I keep an eye on her everywhere, no matter what, because we're in a society today where crazy shit can happen at any time. So all of these things we're talking about is all different crazy shit. That's part of life. It's it is what it is. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna enjoy my life and stay happy.
Exactly what I said. Until he's directly affected by his daughter, then he cares. But if not, I don't care. Do what you want.
Men and women, obviously, they have different stereotypes in society, but there's still a certain you can still feel like you're not.
How do you know that though? How do you know?
I don't know.
But I'm saying if you don't know, then how are you so certain on what it is they're going through?
I don't know what they're going through. I just know.
If you don't know, then how are you certain that a man could be a woman? You don't know what they're going through.
I just think that it's not my place to tell them that they're wrong. If they feel wrong in their body, I'm not going to say I'm not going to restrict them from
Let me ask you a question.
feeling how they want.
Do you ever plan on having children?
No.
No. Do you have sisters? Do you have loved ones that are women?
Yes.
Or you yourself? If you were in the bathroom and you saw a naked man with his phallus swinging that identifies as a woman, how would that make you feel?
Well, most people don't walk naked.
But it's happened numerous times at this point where people are taking advantage of the fact that, or not even taking advantage of the fact that you have people that won't take any hormones or just present themselves as a man, testicles out, penis out in safe women areas that identify as a woman. How would that make you feel if you walked into a locker room and saw a man there totally nude and he said identifies as a woman?
Well, truly did identify.
But you don't know that though. How would you know if you actually identifies as a woman?
I don't know. I've never been in that experience.
But how would that make you feel?
I mean, I probably wouldn't care that much.
You wouldn't care if you saw a penis in the women's locker room?
Well, personally, I don't really pay attention to other people in locker rooms. I feel like that's kind of weird to be observing other people.
How's that weird though? What do you mean? A 6'5" man, you're washing your hands. A 6'5" man's washing his hands next to you. All of a sudden you're observing him. No, you know he's there. You don't want him there because he has power of the situation and he can dictate what happens in that bathroom. If just you and him are there alone, then, that's a danger threat for you. But because you want to be politically correct and extremely woke, you won't call it out and you're going to allow men to watch this video and say, hey, yeah, we can carry on violating female spaces, because we have people like her who aren't going to fight for women and are going to agree with us and our whatever's going on in our head, whether we identify as a woman or not, or we just want to be there. She's going to affirm it.
Like when you walked in and you saw a man walking around naked in a woman's locker room, how would that make you feel? You don't have to be paying attention to it, you just see it.
I mean, I'd probably think it was weird at first, but I wouldn't it wouldn't ruin my life or anything.
That's not the question, though. I'm just trying to describe the implications of this mind state you have if you allow pretty much anyone to be what they feel that they are, these type of consequences that can come from it. Say it like this, in California, they just passed a bill that allows biological men to be housed in women's prisons without having any gender or affirmation procedures, hormones, any of that. How does that make you feel?
I don't know. Are these people who identify as trans women?
How would you know if someone actually identifies with what they're saying that they are?
Well, I don't know, but I do know that there are a lot of people, obviously, there are you could say that about anything. Like there are
Give me an
people,
example.
there are people in the world who are genuinely transgender, and there are people who struggle with that a lot.
Does them being transgender make them a woman?
Yes.
They're the same as you.
Yes.
How so? Just because they feel that way?
Yes.
Oh man, political correctness and woke culture has got the whole world in a headlock. Honestly, it's a shame to see something very simple, but you know, liberals just have to overcomplicate it, and they just have to add their own spin on it. The truth is, you carry on with this for long enough, then unfortunately, only women will suffer because men are going to be taking gold medals in the Olympics, in you know, competitions. They're going to be violating women's spaces. And this is going to have a huge negative, you know, impact on females globally. It's just the truth, you know, so better call it out now, because if this carries on, then, you know, soon, you know, most men will just be violating women's spaces and only women will suffer as a result. Shout out to Night Talk for the content. Really enjoyed his street interview. I'm going to credit him below. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.